Greetings, all of you out there in YouTube land. This is Dicta Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth. And today I am going to address your comments on my video, Doomcock Reacts, a Fandom Divided. Doomcock has been dealing with some issues down here at the lair, and thus this is the first chance he has had this week to read your comments and respond to them. Now, this is an experiment, people. I've been having a great deal of trouble keeping up with all of your great comments, but I do value them, and so I'm going to try this experiment to see if by reading them and responding to them verbally, it will go quicker and enable me to get to more of your comments, because I do value them. Please do keep them up, and I do read them. So yeah, I'm just going to jump into this. And I don't know how it's going to go. Generally, I'm just going to address the top level comments and maybe summarize some of the discussion to the top comments. But really, I'm just going to address the ones, just go down the line and address them to me. And I'm going to take maybe about an hour and 15 minutes to do this. So I'll do my best to get to everyone. And I thank you all for watching, and I thank you all for leaving messages. I really do treasure them. All right, I'm going to start right at the top with Random Game User 42, who says, I like the word kerfuffle. Yes, I do too, Random. I enjoy a good vocabulary. She says, I've been using the word douchebaggery for a while. It's one of my favorites. I think I've heard a certain overlord adopt that one as well. Yes, douchebaggery is a very fine word. You might also try douche waffle and douche nozzle, says Darth Zreven. I think that's how you pronounce it. Darth Vader the Great says his vernacular is bananas. Doomcock, why they keep trying to normalize abnormality? Make dysfunctional the norm. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, you guys are great. Chris Prisa says, I like DVD calling STD fans Drekkies. Well done. Yes, that's Drekkies, folks, with a D, not Trekkies. It was a play on Trekkies. They are pseudo-Trekkies. They are Drekkies. Super Corny says, I also like Schmazel, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hasifef Incorporated. Yeah, I do too. All right. Bjorn says, I should really not lollygag around like some nincompoop, or I would certainly get my comeuppance. Now I am of to commit some rambunctious debauchery. Have a nice day to you all, and hail Doomcock. Hail to you, Bjorn. Brad Noble's shit heel is fun too. Yeah, I like that. Septonite says, I am particularly fond of fuckwad. Yeah, I like that. Eric Draven, my new word for the day. Let's see, what have we got here? Viking Bitch says, Bjorn, you are a poet, sir. Septonite, I use that word often. Also, twatwaffle. Twatwaffle. I thought that was a division in the Luftwaffe. Oh well, I don't know. A Nerdrotic channel says, we have lost Doctor Who. The line is drawn here. As much as we help to save the expanse, we will put the same vigor into killing STD. We are the penicillin. Yes, we are, Nerdrotic. And I hope you're having fun at Comic-Con, my friend. Go ahead and yell at some Drekkies for me, will you please? Thunderbolt 2 says, Season 10 of Doctor Who killed it for me. It was that bad. Nerdrotic says, totally agree. The worst part was we had to wait a year for it. Yes. Charles Blake says, Doctor Who isn't lost. The current morons have rejected canon so much and made so many continuity errors within their own stories that any future revival, and believe me, there one day will be one, will be able to easily retcon all the nonsense. Boy. I don't know. I think it's their general approach, Charles Blake. I think that that whole stretch with Little Miss Moffat writing it was terrible. Just fucking awful. The whole, emphasis on the goddamn companions as opposed to the Doctor, I found incredibly offensive, and it looks like, I don't know, from this trailer, this teaser of the new Doctor delivering fucking pizza, that was terrible. That was just fucking terrible. Matches Burn says, we will not sacrifice Star Trek. We've made too many compromises already, too many concessions. They invade our fandoms and we concede. They pander our fandoms and we concede. They destroy entire fandoms and we concede. Not again. The line must be drawn here, this far, no farther. And we will make them pay for what they've done. Yes, I agree with that 100%. Sounds familiar. G.O.D., he says, basically, that it's unfortunate that it's progressively gotten worse. RTD's stint as showrunner reinvigorated the fandom, and when comparing both Russell T Davies and Moffat, you can really see the difference in their approach to storytelling. One cared about carefully plotting character arcs and development, whereas the other seemed far too fixated on being clever and setting up mystery boxes that led nowhere or had unsatisfying payoffs. Yes, I agree. Capaldi's run should have been awesome, given the range of his acting chops, but instead we got what we got. And that's not even touching on the way Smith's run as 11 turned out halfway through Series 7. Yes, I agree, G.O.D. Excellent analysis. I'm going to get out of this and go back to the top-level comments. Show Nuff says, now you are talking doom. Yet another triumphant rant of truth. You, sir, not only speak to Star Trek and other shows, but society's ills as a whole. Don't get woke. Get angry. Well, I will never get woke, Show Nuff. I will get awakened, but not woke. I will stay angry, and Show Nuff, thank you, my friend. It's always good to hear from you. Excellent comment. Gusty9053 says, I found STD so repulsive I stopped watching any episode from Trek Yards that had any hint of covering it. I still watch some of their other episodes. Yes, that's a good approach. I decided to return to watching Trek Yards. They are informative, but I am skipping any fucking one that has any analysis of STD or discussion of STD as a viable installment in the franchise. It's a bunch of shit. Abu Nas, my brother, Abu. My brother, he says, you are such a pro at this thing, and your words are an inspiration to many of us here, including myself. I salute you, sir, and the civil war among the fandom, especially in Star Wars, is unfortunate, but the good thing to come out of it is that it's brought the YouTube community together to bringing the light and the truth to the world. I'm grateful to God that there's only one of you. Keep up the good work. Abu Nas, I thank you, my friend, and I'm sorry for your recent difficulties, but I always urge people, go and watch Abu Nas's channel. His videos are wonderful. I love his personality. I love his point of view. He's just a fun guy, and watching his videos makes me feel as if I am sitting in a room with one of my closest friends. And he's just talking, and he's just wonderful. It's a shame I can't talk back to him, but that's the feeling I get. And all of you should check out Abu Nas. Also, earlier, my first comment was from the wonderful Random Game User 42, and you should also check out her YouTube channel. Just Google Random Game User 42, and it will come right up. Endless Treco, says, I never want an STD. STD is no different. Endless 3 Echo, I agree with you in fucking entirely. One makes you pee green and the other just pisses you off. So either way, urine is involved. You want to stay away from that shit. Captain George, he says, great video as always, Doomcock. STD really breaks the point of the Trek in Star Trek. How about we rebrand it as Star Discovery? There clearly is no Trek. On another note, I'm really looking forward to your live stream at 3:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, Captain George, as a matter of fact, we've looped around so far that my next live stream is tomorrow at the same time. Thursday, live stream, 3:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that is going to be on July 19th. So if you're watching this past July 19th, I will already have done it, but it'll be up for you to look at. I had so much fun with that live stream, guys. It was a dream come true, and I can't wait to talk with you guys again. Just amazing. Martin Montoya says, Doomcock, great video, and you are the man. Martin, you are the man too, sir. Rock on. Trevor Random says, STD, Doomcock truly knows what's going on. Yeah, I got my ears to the ground. I got my nose in the street. I got a whole network of stoolies out there telling me what's going down and what the man is up to. Of course, I am one day going to be the man. And then everyone will panic. Dilligaff says, I went to see Ant-Man and Wasp. I did a hard palm face when in the previews I saw CBS is doing a Magnum PI reboot. Oh my God, every damn thing is getting rebooted these days. Rebooted, soiled, degraded, and cast down. You are not going to get a reboot that's better than the original people. It's just not going to happen. They just rely on us wanting a new fix on our old highs. Skip it. Skip all reboots. That is Doomcock's advice to you. Now, keep your ear to the ground. Keep your nose on the street. Employ your network of stoolies. And if a reboot happens to be excellent for some weird, quirky reason, I mean, a stopwatch is right twice a day, as the old adage goes. So if that's the case, then go ahead and check it out. Because God knows, I loved Battlestar Galactica. I make no secret about it. But it's a complete reboot, and those of you who are fans of the original series need not hate it. Just ignore it, because it does not affect your canon at all. And as long as a show does not affect established canon, if it's a completely different version, then I'm not mad. I just ignore the damn thing, unless it appeals to me for some reason. But yeah, just ignore the damn thing. There's no skin off your nose. And this one, I loved it. I thought it was great. So there you go. Birdo Prey 5 says, no STD today, no STD tomorrow, no STD ever. Words to live by, Bird of Prey. Fan Addicts of Film says, nothing will ever top the original Star Trek series. It is funny that it only had a few seasons. I love the original series and the Next Generation. Yes, Fan Addicts of Film, you and I both. Both of those series are near and dear to my heart. I think the original is the best, but by God, all of them have bright, shining moments in them. Even Enterprise did, and I don't consider that canon because it just doesn't ring true. There's so much about it that is wrong, canon-wise. But but I just ignore it. I don't hate it because its heart was in the right place. There were factual violations of canon, but not spiritual violations of canon. They still had the ideals. They still cared. The effects were bright enough to see, unlike on Star Trek Discovery, that pile of shit. And I really like, I can find things to like about all of them, except Star Trek Discovery, which is irredeemable. Loki07 says, it's time to put the Star Trek franchise into that giant glasses case and fire it into the vast reaches of space. So long. Yes, Loki07. The photon torpedo does look a bit like a glasses case. Yeah, that's a good call. Robert Anderson, Doomcock, your writing is really top-notch. I'm loving it. Thank you, Robert. I take pride in my writing. Robert D. says, the current writing in sci-fi franchises reminds me of Ripley's line in Aliens. Did IQ suddenly drop while I was away? The stupidity in STD, part of a historically smart sci-fi franchise, is particularly galling. Kudos, Doomcock, for not backing down. Thank you, Robert D. I never back down. I won't back down. I'll stand my ground. To quote a poet that we're all familiar with. James Rohr says, on the 8th day, Doomcock saw an abomination of a show named Star Trek Discovery, and he nameth it STD. All hail Doomcock. James Rohr, all hail James Rohr for that excellent comment. Thank you. On that 8th day, it was a lousy day, and it rained. It rained cats and dogs. Grumpy Old Man says, the only thing STD is good for is making your genitals itch. Let's free clinic this progressive Star Trek crap. Hashtag not my Star Trek. Another great video, another great comment, Grumpy Old Man. Thank you, my friend. Ed Rosa says, The great thing about SJW values in our beloved franchises is that they are failing. STD is allegedly seeing major changes for Season 2. Star Wars had its first bona fide failure in Solo. Marvel nearly wrecked the entire comic book industry, yes. Ghostbusters 2016, enough said. Yes, indeed. Introducing SJW values into a franchise is inviting failure. Ed Rosa, truer words, my friend. Truer words. Outstanding. Sven Sandstrom says, I pissed off a badger once and did not go well for the badger. But STD sickens me as a Star Trek fan. Well, I'm glad you survived that encounter with the badger. He presumably was not armed, and that's always a good thing. Rabid badgers and arms do not mix. NRA, please take note. Don't sell weapons to badgers. At least we should agree on all that. Ted Ingalls says, Dicta Van Doomcock is a lone warrior fighting the insane social justice agenda against good entertainment. Go Doomcock and take no prisoners. Save us. Ted, it is my intention to save us all, and I will not stop until we are restored to our former glory. Seraph Amaro says, amusingly, the channel you speak of has begun discussing Discovery as the Discovery universe to separate it from the rest of the franchise. Even they seem to be running out of patience with CBS. Yes, that channel is doing the best it can to thread that fine line. And I don't blame them, and I'm sorry that my off-the-cuff comment may have caused them some distress. But they're good guys, you know. But I'm glad to see that they're at least taking this effort to protect Canon, respect Canon. God knows they know enough about it, and I appreciate this tip of the hat to that. The Anatis X, the Anatis X. That's my best pronunciation. Sorry. Says, you fast become my favorite channel on YouTube. Thank you for your videos and commentary. Hail Doomcock. Thank you for that, Anaitis X. I hope that I said your name right. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. Jesse Sauceda Jr. said, STD is not of the body. Yes. Thank you for picking up on that, Jesse. I was a little bomb in there. Of course, that was a reference to Return of the Archons from the first season of Star Trek, and I'm glad somebody picked up on that. It must have been a mysterious comment to those who did not immediately recognize that. Toonami Tom says, even at its worst, I don't recall Enterprise as being so divisive. Those who liked it admitted it had big problems, and those who didn't like it ignored it. But Enterprise never outright shit on the franchise and what it stood for. STD, on the other hand, is so wretched and vile, it actively throws hate towards Canon, the fans, and Gene's hopeful vision of the future. I don't mind fans liking it as a sci-fi show, but it is not Star Trek, so stop defending as such. Toonami, Tom, excellent post. Thank you, my friend. I agree entirely. Enterprise was not nearly as divisive as this, and I have no hatred for that show. Liam Foley says, I'm getting this sense, this feeling, and I may be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing you don't care for Star Trek Discovery. Yes, Liam. Excellent. I'm glad you picked up on that. Jamier's 1975 says, Trek Yards? Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. Yes, but they are a great channel, and they are taking pains, as someone said above, to start separating Discovery from the rest of Star Trek. So I think that's a good middle road to take, and I appreciate that. Solicitous Comics says, in health class, we were always taught to avoid STDs, and this one can't be cured with penicillin. No, STD is a disease of the mind. It cannot be cured with penicillin. It can only be cured with cancellation and deletion of every fucking episode, preferably in a furnace somewhere. FD Mackey says, STD was from the beginning a misfire. I'm trying to be as nice in my wording as possible. Nothing about it is worth the money a subscription would cost for a subscription. We'll stick with our discs and reruns on BBC America. Yes, it is a horrible, horrible disgrace. FD Mackey, thank you for that. Sith Spit Rick says, I gave up Satan for you. Hail Doomcock. Wow. I played in the big leagues now. My evil has gotten world class. Thank you, Sith Spit Rick. I appreciate that very much. Thunderbolt 2. Same thing is happening to Doctor Who fans. Yes, I'm a Doctor Who fan. I am not as steeped in Doctor Who as I am in Star Trek, but I do love Doctor Who. I've watched all the new ones up until about midway through Little Miss Moffat's run when I gave up on the damn thing. Couldn't take it anymore. Clara did me in. That was it. That was the last straw for Doomcock on that. So yes, Doctor Who fans, you have my sympathies. And I'm going to start doing some reviews of the new Doctor Who as soon as they air. Ryan says, is this when Star Wars and Star Trek fans form a loose alliance to fight these SJWs? Count me in. Count on me, my captain. Ryan, I am counting on you, my friend. I am leading the Canon wars. You can see that I have a t-shirt on sale at Zazzle.com /DVD Shoporama. I kind of loosely group all of these franchises under assault under that term Canon Wars. So it's not specific to any particular franchise or genre. It's really any reboot, even things like Magnum P.I. Basically anything that fans have loved that are being wrecked by these assholes covers it. Robin Thrush says, mermaids, whales, and imbeciles. Love it. Thank you, Robin. Thank you very much. Chip Link Griffin says, I never watched it. It doesn't exist. That is absolutely the best approach, Chip. Doomcock salutes you for that. That is the best way. Just stop watching them. Just get them out of your head. Don't let them have any space in your interior dojo. Billy Ritchie says, at least we got the Orville Doomcock. Damn right. The Orville is the successor to the Star Trek crown. Elfidan says, it's a microcosm of what's happening in the real world. Taking your first step into a larger world today means the attempt to reboot and rewrite all of human culture, for a brave new world has its own consequences. Like in RoboCop 2, when they started adding hundreds of new directives, it will have consequences. And when people want everything to be the same and politically correct, it ruins everything. It isn't about fascism and Marxism now. It's about resisting a techno-dystopia which repackages everything to suit its new vision for the future and tells anyone who gets in its way that they will become enemies of the state. Well said, Elfidan. I appreciate that post, sir. Bifront, yes, says, many shill sites are trying to justify the lame new appearance of the Klingons, but the truth is simple. They didn't care about canon or continuity. Yes, they are not Klingons, they are Klingorks, and STD is not Star Trek. Color Collectible says, keep it up, DC. I'm ready to elect you as president of Lucasfilm. I will accept that position if they offer it to me. And I will whip this damn thing in shape and give you guys some of the best Star Wars ever made. Guaranteed. Thank you for that, Color. Antigone. Yes, Antigone says, hail Doomcock Live. There have to be some ruffled feathers. Courtesy and politeness with the sensibilities of our current popular social justice culture is part of what brought us into this mess in the first place. It is time to speak the unfiltered truth in the face of a special kind of stupidity, until now unbeknownst to mankind, that sucks the fun out of everything we fans have enjoyed for decades. Antigone, well said. I hail you, Antigone. Thank you for that post. Salomon Baby says, keep up the great work, Doomcock. It's time to fight back and fix Star Trek and Star Wars. Amen, Salomon Baby. And I'm gonna stick to it till it's done. Christian Maldonado says, they're after everything that means culture in our days. Their objective is clearly control of culture in the sense of right and wrong. Yes, I guess that is. I don't know what the hell their objective is, honestly. But that's as good a guess as any, Christian Maldonado. I appreciate that. Livens Flame says, once upon a time we had Star Trek. Nowadays we have Start Wreck. These two things sound the same when spoken out loud, but they are not the same thing. Not at all. Livens Flame, absolutely well said. I could not agree more. Retro Robot Radio says, on the other hand, we have fans, and on the other, leftist meat puppets. Simple. Yes, that's a good way to distill it, Retro Robot. Excuse me, I'm getting a little dry. I'm going to take a sip here. Sip of water. Yeah, water, that's it. It's not booze, it's water. Retro Robot Radio, thank you for that. Hexspell says, yeah, we had to bail on Trek Yards too, pity. Yeah, it is a pity. I mean, I encourage you to, watch their videos, as long as they're not discussing Star Trek Discovery. They have some great insights. None Your Business says, it is not merely that corporations are making bad content with their IPs, but they have been co-opted to serve as propaganda to re-educate a new audience and indoctrinate them into far-left beliefs. Corporations were sold a bill of goods by the SJWs that they let in the door with promises of reaching new untapped audiences, assured that the old fans would knuckle under or blindly follow along. They were very wrong. It is up to us to make those corporations wake up and see the money being burned and wasted on chasing a phantom audience and a losing agenda. None of your business. Doomcock salutes you for that comment. Yes, they are going to find that their new audience is shallow in compared to the audiences that they spent 40 and 50 years building, those stupid idiots. Tippy Tail McKitty says, Hail Doomcock, R.I.P. Star Trek. Thank you, Tippy Tail McKitty. I'd pet you if I could. Danger Dave says, Star Trek has a rich universe with decades of canon. Instead of SED, we could have had something set 20 years after SE Nemesis. Maybe even had members of the original Next Generation Voyager and DS9 shows pop in from time to time, or even let Michael Dorn run his idea about Worf being a captain. Hell yes, any of those would be vastly better than contracting STD, and certainly a lot less itchy. Martin Dawson says the captain and commander have been swayed by Eagle Moss, Kool-Aid drank, sad times. I can't speak to that, but I will say that Eagle Moss makes some wonderful, wonderful damn ships. Oh my God, I love Eagle Moss. I wish Eagle Moss would bribe Doomcock with a few free models to review. God, I'd love to do that. I love those guys. I just can't afford all the ships I would want from Eagle Moss. That's very sad. 13th Protector says, perhaps the tales of Doomcock can bring a new light in this darkest night. I'd love to see a show about you, good sir. Well, I'm open to that, but I'm not egomaniacal enough probably to shoot it. I'd probably write it though. I don't know. But thank you for that, 13th Protector. Thank you for protecting our sacred canon and modern mythology. Apple Crow says, the old can't respond to all the comments excuse for straining your wrist. I think I know the channel you're talking about, and if so, I agree. One panelist seemed incapable of admitting faults in the show, while another would at least give them lip service and then try to find ways not to criticize it. Yes. Yeah. There's kind of a regrettable split, but that mirrors the split in the fandom. But not the true fandom. I think that all real Star Trek fans, well, here I am. See, it's just like, I can't thread the needle, guys. I like Trek Yards. I like Captain Foley. Great guys. It's just Star Trek Discovery is a horrible sticking point. It's just very difficult. So, Noguerita says, first from Latam. First from Latam. I would think so, Noguerita. Shit, I don't even know where that is, but it shall be under my domain when I rule the world, and maybe I'll put you in charge of it. That would be a reasonable reward for your comment and your watching my videos. Thank you, and thank all of you for watching my videos. Thank you for your patience in my responses to you. It's no secret that Doomcock has been going through a bit of a family problem here. Health problem with a member of my family. It's been very upsetting and distracting, and it's put Doomcock behind, but we're moving on, and things are maybe looking up a bit, so I'm just glad to be back. Big Frackin' Ogre says, you don't have to apologize, Doomcock. Reasonable people understand that you can't respond to every comment and still pump out great content. I will still watch and comment if you don't respond, so long as you keep spitting truth. Big Fracking Ogre, thank you for that. I actually was not looking at that comment when I made my last statement, and then here it is, just a statement of support from Big Fracking Ogre, and I really appreciate that, sir. You guys are the best. I've gotten so much messages of support and everything. It's funny that the media likes to depict all of us as haters, when actually I have found you guys to be some of the most warm, accepting, and loving people I've ever met. So, God damn it, thank you all. And I'm honored to have you watching my videos, every one of you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Big Fracking Ogre, again for that. I really appreciate that. Michael Maynor says, what I don't get is if they wanted to make a show so different from Star Trek, why did they spend the money on the franchise? They couldn't have just created their own show from scratch. No, they couldn't because they don't have any talent. They have no goddamn talent whatsoever. Just look at their writing. It should be very clear. Kevin Hash says, keep preaching truth to power. I will, Kevin. I absolutely will not back down from that, ever. So long as people watch me, I will continue to spew my truth out into the Twitterverse and YouTubeverse. And even if people stop watching entirely, I'll still do it. Just nobody will be watching, I guess. I don't know. Stone Loki says, I made it to the episode where they used the spore drive for the first time, then I was done. I grew up on Star Trek. My father was a Navy pilot, and when he was home, we would sit up late watching Star Trek. It's a sad day when they put shit like this on the air and then hail it as a success, a new dawn for the series. Lifelong lover of Star Trek, and to walk away from a series is extremely disheartening. Hail Lord Doomcock, future leader of mankind, because mankind has lost its mind. Stone Loki, outstanding post, sir. I salute you. Doomcock salutes Stone Loki. You shall be well taken care of when I rule the world. I shall remember your comments, sir. All of you will do very well under Doomcock's reign. A Star of Elion says, I know this isn't going to make me popular, but Star Trek Voyager was my jam. Every Monday night I would wind down from school by drawing, eating Oreos, and watching Voyager. Star of Elion, bless you, sir. I'm not going to attack you for that. Star Trek Voyager is Star Trek. You know, it may be less successful, it may have a higher percentage of bad episodes, and really crazy, they didn't really do very good ending for it, but it had some wonderful moments, some brilliant stuff, and of course, 7 of 9, Jerry Ryan in her skin-tight suit. Yeah. Uh-oh, sorry, I went away there for a minute, kids. Sorry about that. Captain April. Welcome, Captain April. All of you guys should be checking out Captain April's channel. He does great work. He's a true and passionate believer in Star Trek, and we should all be watching Captain April and supporting him. He says, a note regarding Trek Yards. In their recent video about the additional shows being developed by Alex writer Mommy Kurtzman, Stewart said flat out that we should start referring to STD as being in their own universe because it's painfully obvious by now that it's impossible to make it fit with the rest of the Star Trek universe with any credibility. You see, Trek Yards, Captain Foley, outstanding. Stewart, I hail you, thank you for that, and well done. Guys, don't attack Trek Yards. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Just be sure and boycott any episodes that talk about STD. It's shit. John Kirk says, I'm getting tired of these stupid companies getting a hold of our franchises and use nostalgia to ensnare, but have no respect for the very material they are using to get us fans in, and then they complain when we have a bad reaction to it. Like they are surprised or something that we don't eat their slop and go yum more. I'm not watching any more of Star Wars, and I have not and will not see an episode of Star Trek Discovery. John Kirk, I salute you. I wish that I had never seen Star Trek Discovery, but then of course, if I hadn't, my channel wouldn't be here. Because it was Star Trek Discovery that finally made me so mad I had to either explode or rant about it on the internet. So I'm very glad in that regard that I was able to do that and be here with you. It was because of Star Trek Discovery, but I will not refrain from destroying Star Trek Discovery once I ascend to power, as it was my motivation all along. Kyle Sentient says, my soon-to-be Emperor, your videos inspire us and help us nurture the hope within our hearts. May the Force be with us all. Kyle Sentient, well said, sir. I'm glad that your my videos inspire you and keep you going. I really appreciate that sentiment, Sentient. Hobbs Tack TV says, 2 things I would love Doomcock to bring up on the next High Council. Theory, Rey is going to use the knowledge in the book she stole from Luke and the broken pieces of Anakin's lightsaber to build herself a cool blue double-bladed saber. Since she's already perfect in every way and the bestest ever at everything, may as well give her the coolest lightsaber too. Yeah, you're probably right. It's very annoying. Possible retcon. In order to completely retcon Last Jedi, the opening of Episode 9 sees Rey awaken next to the weird dark side hole thing to Octo coughing up water because she almost drowned. Luke stands over her with a disappointed look, saying that he warned her about going in there. He then explains that all the bad stuff she's seen pretty much the entirety of The Last Jedi well, it's just a Force vision of a possible future that can be avoided if she whips her undisciplined and unfocused ass into shape. Not only would this effectively make The Last Jedi bull and void, but it would also allow Jar Jar Abrams to give Ruin Johnson a cinematic middle finger for completely ignoring all his setups from Force Awakens, even though they were kind of shitty. Thoughts, sir? All hail Doomcock. Hobstack TV. Yeah, well, I could live with that. That'd be very funny. I like that. I like Jar Jar Abrams giving Ruin Johnson the finger after Ruin Johnson gave Jar Jar Abrams the finger. It's kind of like dueling rap artists, right? Like completely ruining the franchise and not giving a shit about it, pursuing their own agendas and vendettas. Yeah, I like that. Mike Lee says, Lord Doomcock, I always thought STDs were bad. Smile. Hey, you thought right, Mike Lee. Always wrap that thing. Important safety tip. Ardix548 says, Doomcock, we need to create new space operas and science fiction franchises in the spirit of our old storytelling traditions, like Tolkien writing new mythology for the English people after the Normans destroyed the tales of the Anglo-Saxons. Yes, Ardix548, I agree entirely. That's why I love The Expanse so much. That's why I love The Orville so much, both of them. New space operas and science fiction franchises. That's exactly what we need. We need creative people in Hollywood working for our benefit in making new stuff. Damn it. Why is that so difficult? Well, it's because they're talentless fucks. Tom Griffith says, Amen, Doomcock, preach. STD is a dumpster fire that hasn't gone out yet. I got into an argument with Idiot Butt Plug that believes Generations is a great film. I know. I said, enjoy STD. He got offended saying that he hates STD. Thus the paradox. So I let him keep his delusions. What is it about arguing with idiots? Always fight the good fight, stay the course, and win the war. All hail Doomcock. Tom Griffiths, I always enjoy your comments, sir. All hail Tom Griffiths. Cyan McCabe says, I can feel the fire of your passion over Lord Doomcock, but take care that you don't drive people away by denouncing their views, or you might otherwise win them over with word and reason. I look forward to your live stream. It sounds like fun. It was fun, Cyan McCabe, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow, Thursday, July 19th at 3:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So I hope to see you there. Chris Prisa says, if I may ask a simple question, would STD be more palatable if CBS confirmed it to be in an alternate reality and not the main timeline or main reality? Other than that, all hail the Overlord at 3:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Well, Chris, yes and no. I mean, it would be more palatable in that we could just ignore it. We could just skip it and just say, yeah, it's crap. Just like I skip Young Shelton, or any of the other, fucking, CBS shows like Hawaii Five-O, the phony reboot of Hawaii Five-O. But nothing can make it palatable. I mean, it's just terrible in its own right. It's not just terrible as bad Star Trek, it's terrible in its own right. So that's a good question, Chris. I appreciate that. Vocal Ven says, good job, Doomcock. Thank you, Vocal Ven. Kimbap Tempura says, they got in a kerfuffle with DVD and survived? You truly are a merciful one, oh merciless one. Yes, when I can, I always defer to mercy. What was it that Reagan said in The Exorcist? It would be a vulgar display of power. I am opposed to vulgar displays of power. I only smack down idiots when they really clearly deserve it. Some idiot the other day was stupid enough to engage and insult Doomcock on Twitter, and I reduced him to rubble very quickly. So, yeah, it's not a good idea. James Warwick says, deformed homicidal twin growing out of its side. Nice reference to Basket Case. Yes, James, exactly. Good call picking up on that. I love it when people get my weird references. I always litter my conversation and my videos with weird references. It's just the way I am. Angel Symmetrica. Good to see you, Angel Symmetrica, says real Star Trek, TOS, TNG, DS9, Envoy. Lousy Star Trek Enterprise prequel, wholly unacceptable STD. It's not like the successors to the original series were perfect, they weren't, but nobody can make the claim that Voyager or DS9 got written for the purpose of desecrating half a century of lore. Star Trek Discovery, on the other hand, invalidates our memories, casts down our dreams, and calls our heroes liars. For those reasons, STD is unforgivable. Angel Symmetrica, I could not concur. More well said, my friend. Oliver Smith says, we need to unite for the legacy of Gene Roddenberry left behind to not accept STD into our lives and save our franchises in order to save our cultural heritage. Oliver Smith, you've been paying attention to Doomcock. Thank you, sir. Absolutely agree with that. Alec Jones says, burn that STD to the ground. We must cut it off like a gangrene finger before the rest of the infection spreads to the body. We must stomp this nonsense out of existence. I'm very honored if you read this. Thank you for your work. I did read this, Alec, out loud and live. Thank you for that comment, sir. Jin says, you sure this other channel isn't just a bunch of access journalists saying nice things in exchange for content fodder? These days, there are a lot of previously respected journalists who have lost all credibility since becoming shills. I know that is a phenomenon, Jin. I don't know. I couldn't say, but I have faith in Captain Foley. He seems like a stand-up guy to me. Cyber Bruiser says, I also quit Trek Yards. They embrace shit intellectualism regarding the stinky shit Trek. I just can't abide any talk of STD as valid. So I just can't. Rich F says, Doomcock. I say, Rich F. Grease Pounder says, me to STD, to the last I will grapple with thee. From hell's heart I stab at thee. For hate's sake I spit my last breath at thee. Grease Pounder, words to live and conquer by. Kuka Pringo says, thanks Seth for the Orville. Yes, thank you Seth MacFarlane for the Orville. James Abernathy, they will grow into Rich Evans. Yes, well, that's entirely possible. Matt Deckard, I await your live cast, Lord Doomcock. It has come and gone, but there is another one at the same bat time, same bat channel, tomorrow, July 19th at 3:30 Central Daylight Time. Rob Young says, I love your passion, Doomcock, but take heart. Star Trek will survive this. It survived after cancellation in '69. It survived the dull Star Trek the Motion Picture. It survived the flawed Enterprise spin-off. It survived J.J. Abrams. It will survive STD. They can try to kill it, but the fans will never let the spirit of Star Trek die. No, you're right, Rob. The spirit of Star Trek will never die as long as we remember it, as long as we have our DVDs and our Blu-rays and our books and our memories intact. But I think in terms of producing new Star Trek with this team, all of it is dead on arrival. All of it. And I don't see them getting out anytime soon. I think that they're going to fundamentally transform the nature of the fandom because it's going to attract nothing but idiots and Drekkies and moron apologists and SJW types. And it's just, it's just never going to be the same. That's my concern, Rob. But I hope you're right. Who's the other channel Doomcock had a kerfuffle with? Well, it was, it's been pretty clear at this point. I'm really not trying to run these guys down. RVDDP 2501. I just want to move on. Those guys, have your own opinion. I cannot abide any discussion of Star Trek Discovery as being actual Star Trek. Kevin Hash says, and may Disney and CBS perish? Yes, I could not agree more with that. They've got some shit coming to them, don't they? For the way they treated fans and the way that they have run our beloved cultural heritage into the ground. Don't appreciate that at all. Devilman2465 says, you got me thinking that the reason Star Trek fan films were virtually killed off was because they wanted fans to forget about the past and only accept the shit that was to come. I agree entirely. They could not stand the comparison of actual Star Trek done by fans with love to their sterile, hostile, faux Trek garbage. Gunslinger65 says, I'm not angry. I just quit giving a damn. Yep, I think that's fine, Gunslinger65. You've reached that stage where you have become comfortably numb. And that's a good place to be. Docubus Zai says, the Supreme Overlord takes no shit and not one step backwards. All hail Doomcock. Hail Docubus Zai. Thank you so much for that. C. Jones, yes, says, so why is Star Trek Discovery so bad? Because they had the Star Trek IP and wanted to do something with it, but what? Then some hack writer walks in and says, hey, let's do Star Trek, but more like BSG. Then the suits say, brilliant, we own Star Trek and BSG was popular. Smash them together and we're sure to have a hit. Wrong. They even stole the jump drive and slapped in Spore Drive BS to explain it. Think about it, LOL. Yeah, you are quite right, C. Jones. I think you're right. It's just these mashups never work. And they should have had people who like Star Trek. Even if they didn't love it, at least they should like it. But these are people who actually seem to hate Star Trek, hate the fandom, hate everything about it. I hate those bastards in return. DCP, a.k.a. Dalton Van Frankenstein, says, another great video, and it is true. Supporting this stuff just makes it continue. If your favorite restaurant changed the recipe to your favorite meal and it was not as good as it was before, would you keep ordering it? Of course not. Look how well that worked for Coke in the 80s, yeah. Yet we are supposed to support this new vision of Star Trek or Star Wars, Ghostbusters, etc., just because the studio slapped the name on it when it is poorly written and acted and spits in the face of what came before? If you support it, then they think it is what people want and they keep producing it. Stop watching garbage unless you want them to make more garbage. I gave New Trek a chance back in 2009. Won't make that same mistake again. Stay angry, friends. Always DCB, Dalton Van Frankenstein. Always. And it's good to see you here, Dalton. Dalton is one of my Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Doomcock. And we actually had a Doomcock roundtable just yesterday. Where we all discuss, sit in a round table and discuss various pop culture topics. Alana64 says they got rid of the ultimate fondue at Red Lobster. I've not eaten there since. Yes, practical reaction and reinforcement of what Dalton Van Frankenstein laid down. Thank you, Dalton. I appreciate it. Levitan71 says, love your work, Doomcock. Thank you, Levitan. Couldn't do it without you. I'd be shouting in the void if not for all you guys that listen to my and watch my videos, and I really appreciate it. Frito1070 says, yay, Doomcock, yay, Frito1070. Appreciate you, sir. 90 Lancaster says, I saw an SJW today talking about their plans to conduct a campaign to pressure IDW Comics and Hasbro to go for gender parity in Transformers. I sighed and rolled my eyes. Yeah, they're robots, you stupid shits. They don't have any genders. Ugh. Oh, getting a little dizzy here. 90 Lancaster, Jesus. Is it a wonder that we all don't just spontaneously combust? Zoomed 1975 says, Sir, For them, it is just a consumer product, could be packaged in several ways, rented, altered, or abandoned. For us, it's a product that became a cultural artifact. Lots of big things can be made out of it, including new cultural artifacts, but it cannot be betrayed. Consumer products are disposable and cheap to do, though rarely their profit margin is bigger, so it can only be mass-produced. They are forgettable. Cultural artifacts are very hard to forge, and it is not at the author's reach to call it in such way. Only time and fans could do that. No wonder the likes of Disney, the lazy, and those who hate tradition target fandoms everywhere. Fandoms themselves are the enemy. They want mindless consumers. That's the source of our predicament. Eagerly awaiting the coming live stream. Zoomed 1975. Thank you for that, and I hope to see you tomorrow at my second live stream, solo live stream. It's going to be fun. Done again at a time that's friendly for our UK followers and international fans. Brian Fuller says STD is STD, not canon Star Trek or even good Star Trek. It's an awful, beyond awful aberration for viewers pretending to watch Star Trek. Spore drive, sonar, space whales, existing canon, effects of phasers. STD is crap. STD es de la merde. Remember, folks, what is Star Trek? Ask a Drekkie why they watch this, and you see it has little to do with Star Trek. Yes, that's absolutely true. I've heard anecdotes. They all cite the effects and, the gore and the stupidity. There's a certain segment of the public that loves stupidity. Junior Stone says, checking, yep, STD still sucks. Thank you, Stony, for that. Stony is one of my legionnaires at my Patreon. Thank you, Stony. Sonny Delaney says, yes, first, all hail Doomcock. Sonny Delaney, hail Sonny Delaney. Thank you. It's always good to see you, Sonny. Jig Fig Fifi says, I like how you refer to the show as STD, even if you're not trying to make a joke, LOL. All hail Doomcock. Thank you, Jig Fig Fifi. I'm not joking around. It really is a disease of the mind, like syphilis in its final stages. DV Makes Do says, holy crap, not just rabbit, but seeking revenge. I can't stop laughing at that. Yes. Yeah. Doomcock isn't content with a one-layered joke. He tries to add several layers of absurdity into his colorful analogies. Jim Knight, thank you for catching that, DV Makes Do. Jim Knight says, Doomcock for world leader. Yes, and it's coming. Oh, it's coming, Jim. But with your support, my friend, it'll go that much quicker. The Thought Criminal says, I'm glad to hear that you are so successful that you don't have the time. It's understandable, and congratulations. But I'm taking the time here as much as I can to try and get to as many of your comments as possible. Trek Yards has a comment, and thank you for that, Trek Yards, for your viewing and everything. It says, I wonder what channel you could be referring to. As usual, excellent video, excellent points, but please keep in mind, we all love Trek. Yes, that's true, Captain. Some of us that are not masked must take a more diplomatic approach to discussing the show and airing our grievances. I, Captain Foley, for one agree with a great many of your points and present those views in our own Discovery discussions. Yes, that is fair. My head blows up whenever I even contemplate Discovery, so I have to kind of back away from that. So I'm taking Captain Foley at his word, and your comments have also reinforced that. He continues, I certainly hope that you can still watch our content and enjoy it for what it is. Yes, I have been renewing my acquaintance with your channel, Captain Foley, watching some of your other videos and skipping the Discovery ones. He says the majority of our content is, in fact, not about Discovery. Anyways, good day to you, sir, and your viewers, and we hope to be able to work together in the future. Yes, you see, Captain Foley is a stand-up guy. Trek Yards is a stand-up show, and really, don't give him a hard time. Give him a chance. Just skip over their STD commentary. Thank you for that, Trek Yards. Orange42 says, didn't they change STD to STI? I don't care what they do. I'm calling it STD. They can go fuck themselves. Den Saku says, we need to form an army and take pop culture back. That is what Doomcock has done. Doomcock has building a community, actually at patreon.com/Doomcock. We are over 200 strong there, and we are an active community of free thinkers, critical thinkers who are opposed to these desecrations of our modern mythologies. So feel free to join us there, Densaku. We could use your strength. Michael says, just like Dissuck SW, these fools sicken me. My lord, your videos are a bright ray of sunshine. They are greatly appreciated. Michael, thank you. I appreciate you watching. Vention1 MGTOW McTow. Vention1 McTow says, ROFLOL, you're a true Trek fan. Well done. STD is bunk, and I stopped watching a few 4 or 5 episodes into season 1. You were smart, my friend. Stay clear of that shit. It will rot your brain. Rob the Crazy Ronin says, kerfuffle. Yep, it works. I thought it was a good word, Rob. Thank you. That anime snob deleted video says, this so-called divide is just a short war. Just like with every popular titles, many defend it for a while and then realize their mistake and go silent. It happened with Star Wars. It happened with Sword Art Online. It will happen with Star Trek. I hope so. I hope you're right. Thank you. That anime snob deleted videos. JP says, only Doomcock could make me look forward to season 2 of STD. I'm not looking forward to it, but yeah, I'm going to sharpen my knives for it. Yeah, I can assure you of that. David Allen Gay says, DVD, come on, Star Trek Online, and you'll hear nothing but the division you described in Zone Chat, that and arguments over Trump. Well, Jesus, that's interesting. Thank you, David. David also is one of my Patreon supporters. Thank you for that. I think I'm going to steer clear of Star Trek Online. I don't know. I can't fucking stand it. Atari Leaf says, Discovery, vastly greater than the original series. Wow. Well, Atari Leaf, I don't know what to tell you, man. I think you, lay off the booze or whatever other substance, mushrooms, that you may possibly, I assume, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with anyone that would say Discovery is greater than the original series. I guess brain damage is the reason. Ravi says, I hope the executives wake up and put a handle on all those creatives that ruin everything with their SAW nonsense. You and I both, my friend. You and I both. An unpronounceable, I believe, Cyrillic name. Perhaps a fan from Russia? Are you a fan from Russia? This supervillain is an anti-hero. I consider myself a hero, and I'm glad you do too. Steve Dye says, sounds good, Doom, cock, I'll tune in. Thank you, Steve. The idiot reviewer says, STD have a space whale and Soilo have a space octopus. Is it me or it seems like SJW failed biology? Yes, idiot reviewer. Good point, damn good point. Reality Strike says, Doomcock equals Commander Baylock. Yes, you now have 7 minutes. We will relent in the destruction of the Enterprise only if we have proof of this Corbomite device. Thank you, Reality Strikes. Aster for Jaden says, my lord, we have your back to defend your beliefs and ours. Thank you. It is excellent to have allies in these canon wars. Jared Tracy says, I enjoy your extensive use of the word poop. It is a shame you have to deal with the fan divide in not only Star Trek but Star Wars as well. Yes, Jared, I agree entirely. It's a damn shame. It is really sad that we find ourselves so divided by this garbage. Quentin Lars says, the kinds of writers we're getting today are the kids that grew up getting awards for coming 20th place in competitions. This is why things are getting worse. Yes, Quentin Lars, these writers think all they have to do is show up and they get their paycheck like a medal. Screw them. They're incompetent and they suck. And there are some kids that would be better not getting trophies at all. Grumpy Gorn says, I think the best way to thank us, as you say near the end of this video, is to continue making ingenious videos. And please stay angry and remind people that Star Trek matters, or once mattered. Thank you, Grumpy Gorn, for that support. I truly appreciate it. Zoppy says, sadly, if Roddenberry was still around, he probably would endorse it. I don't think so, Zoppy. I really don't. He is on record saying that if Canon stands in the way of a good story, then Canon be damned. Certainly his son has sold out his name to it as one of the executive producers. Yeah, I think if Roddenberry would feel that if Canon stood in his way of his good story, Canon be damned, he would not find STD a good story. Not at all. I guarantee it. He hated the militarism in Star Trek II Wrath of Khan. And if he hated that, oh my God, what he would think of this shit, he would explode. Mark Constantine says, no rabid badgers in my yard. An excellent synopsis as usual. Thank you, Mark Constantine. Brandon G says, I feel like actual fans of STD don't really exist. They're like fans of the DCU, just product of marketing teams. That is entirely possible. We have no idea, Brandon G, what the actual ratings are. So, yeah, I'm not surprised at that. Uncle Bennis says, our trap's gay, though. I don't know what that means. I don't know. America76 says, excellent. Man's got to take a stand. Yes, we are all taking a stand. And thank you guys for taking a stand with me. Ramo Grey Wolf says, I love just listening to you, Lord Doomcock. Well, I hope you're enjoying this. This is an experiment. I don't know if you guys want more of this or not. Just go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section, letting me know if this is okay or if this is boring. I don't know, but I know I just can't go on typing and typing and typing. These are so many comments. This is helping me to get through much quicker, and I'm really enjoying it. Ralph Macchio, all right, says, I watched one episode of STD, and with 5 minutes, I realized Klingons were Trump supporters. This pile of garbage was going nowhere fast. I don't know, man. I don't know what the fucking Klingorks are. I just know they're not Klingons. That's for sure. Bernfried Axvilda says, Dear Doomcock, I hereby surrender my soul to your cause for as long as it takes, but we better hit some nightclubs on the way to victory. And oh yes, you know me from Twitter. Greetings from your German friend. Yes, Bernfried. Good to see you, my friend. Bernfried is a great guy. You should follow him on Twitter. I really like his posts. Juan Esmith says, great video, Doomcock, sir. This SJW gynocentric infection is spreading everywhere. The entertainment industry is just another casualty and society itself is on the line. I hope a statement can be sent and a line can be drawn here in entertainment. The SJW mentality is relentless and fallacious. It knows no boundaries to itself and sets them to everyone else. It stands on feelings and perceptions, disregarding facts and science. A small victory was achieved in Solo's box office failure, and the SJW comics cancellations, but still the damage remains and the balance must be restored on the long run for the future generations to come. Ad Astra. Thank you, Juan Esmith. That was a great post, sir. And yes, the SJW infection is spreading everywhere, but we are the cure. They say we're the disease, I say we're the cure. Preserving Light says, I tried watching 10 minutes of an episode of STD. It was an abomination. Thank you for confirming my diagnosis, Preserving Light. Titan Jedi says, thanks for another great video, Doomcock. You saved me from an STD. Always happy to help promote the health of my viewers. Red Tail 45044 says, you know what? I'm going to go find out if allergy shots will let me at least get slightly drunk. Maybe I'll regret the decision, but meh. All right, Red Tail. Well, I hope. Cheers, mate. Leon Kernan says, the sooner Doomcock rises up and takes over the world, the better, I say. Yes, Leon. In this, we concur. Makini90 says, so Star Trek diversity is dividing the fandom in the same way that The Last Jedi is dividing the fandom. Exactly, Makini90. Exactly. Josiah Clinch says, and my lord, what is your reaction to the rumor about Han Solo's return in 9? And yes, I said Solo. I will be happy to go over that tomorrow in my live stream, Josiah. I hope that you will tune in or check it out once it's posted. Derek McManus, well, first Solo live stream on 12th of July. I'm sure all your viewers in Northern Ireland will be impressed, it being a public holiday there. I did not know that, Derek McManus. Well, I hope some of my Irish viewers will also be able to attend tomorrow, even though it's not a holiday. Derek Drake, and by the way, Derek, I would love to visit Ireland someday. I love Ireland. I love that whole region, really, is dear to my heart, and I hope to get up there someday. And I do have some of that region's blood in my veins. I won't get specific, but yeah, there's a part of me that feels very much at home in the UK. Derek Drake says, which is more destructive to their respective franchises, Spore Drive or hyperspace ramming? I'd have to say probably Spore Drive, just because it's so fucking idiotic. I mean, it's just, there's more dimensions of stupidity to the so-called Spore Drive than hyperspace ramming, although hyperspace ramming completely ruins everything as well. Because if you've got hyperspace ramming, then you just needed to ram a capital ship into the Death Star and it would have gone up like a fucking firecracker on the 4th of July. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. Willie Woodward. Willie says, let me guess, the channel's name is similar to Real Live Melons. Either way, I respectfully disagree with you. While I totally agree you need the people who are compromising, you also need the ones who will, as sort of social negotiators. Doomcock's wrist hurts from typing, right, and I bet the tissues and lotion is to polish your helmet. Just kidding. Ha, Willie. Well, Doomcock supports internet porn, so I've got no problem with that. Steve F. says, oh, Doomcock Space Whales written with poop was my favorite episode. To hate, to poop on, Steve F. Yes. Alakazam09 says, I really enjoyed the first season of The Orville. They think Roddenberry's vision is still alive, just in a different form. STD, however, is an abomination. I couldn't agree more, Alakazam9. Happy accident, serious question. What would a Doomcock movie be? Serious answer, I am not sure. I'd have to really think about that. But someday I may try to do some crowdfunding or something and shoot a Doomcock movie. It would be very funny. I can tell you that. It would be super cool. And I imagine it would be like something out of Mystery Science Theater 3000 or, the old, Forbidden Planet. Because I love that stuff. B3 Chandler says, I lost my shit at around 5:56 to 6:06. The pain in your voice, just hysterical. Well, I'm glad you liked my pain, B3 Chandler. B Chandler. Yeah, well, I'm glad somebody's getting some use out of my pain. Brian Beerline says, great video. Thanks for being passionate about Star Trek. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make your live stream today. Real world interferes. Good luck with it. Thank you, Brian. It went swimmingly. Gerhard Van Staden said, Doomcock, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you regarding your whole mermaid analogy. This is a lengthy post. I've already read this, and I would say that, I think there's a big difference between manatees and mermaids. I'm saying mermaids as mermaids don't exist. I mean, you're saying that the original source of the mermaid legend, the manatees, was, you're pointing that out. And yes, manatees exist, but mermaids, topless women with fishtails don't exist. And that's what I was talking about. But Gerhard Van Staden, thank you for that post. I appreciate it. Edgar Crew says, monetize Doomcock. Yes, they have monetized Doomcock. That's how he can do his live stream and get super chats now. It's very recent. I think it's only been about a month. But finally, they came around. Thank you, YouTube, for that. Seafood Diet says, Poop Trek, the next shitty generation. Yes, Seafood Diet. That would be an excellent title for it. I might even watch if they change their title to that and fessed up to it. Perfectly Shunned says, you are very entertaining and smart, and I look forward to listening to all your videos. Your choice of words is not only excellent, but likened to an indelible treat. Your presentation and studio that you broadcast from is amazing. Love everything you're doing. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Perfectly Shunned. I truly appreciate that. Brian Sherwood Jr. says, all hail Doomcock. Thank you, Brian. Missouri Johnson says, I'll be there, my lord. Thank you, Missouri Johnson. P. Ariza says, still waiting for that Cobra Kai review, mate. Yeah, I've got to get to that. Tyler Thomas says, STD was written by soft skulls in their own poop. I remember before its release, I was excited about the Orville and from the beginning chose to avoid STD because the director wanted to use the franchise for social justice, representing the Klingons as Trump supporters. Hollywood plans to chase away logic and reason, then expects everyone to fall in line like the sheep the media portrays them as. They drew a line in the sand stating, you're either with us on the deranged left or against us on the rational right. Fans shouldn't have to choose derangement in order to enjoy a franchise. I agree, Tyler Thomas. Very well said. I'm going to have to wrap this up, guys. This has gone on a bit, but I hope perhaps now maybe I will try to respond to you guys in another video, or I may just have to admit defeat. I guess I just can't get to all of them. But do tune in tomorrow to the live stream where I will field answers to your questions there. I really appreciate all you guys, but you can see that I've been going on here for a long time and I still cannot reach the end of all the comments. But I will read them, all the rest of them here. And please feel free, if I didn't get to your comment, to ask it to me on the live stream tomorrow, July 19th at 3:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And I look forward to speaking with you all. From all of us here at Xanadu at the center of the earth, this is Dicta Van Doomcock responding to your comments as best I can. Please keep them coming. I apologize if I didn't get to yours, but regardless, my friends, stay angry.